Hello everyone. In the video, we will talk about pituitary gland. Yesterday, hypothalamus pathology. So, there is a continuation pituitary gland. So, first, pituitary gland location in our brain. The cavity where the pituitary gland exactly present is called sella turcica. This is very, very important because this is the place where the pituitary gland is actually located inside the brain. So, sella turcica and pituitary lobes. And pituitary gland, if you take, it contains three different lobes: anterior lobe, posterior lobe and the intermediate lobe. So, how many lobes are present? 3 lobes. In general, they will tell only 2 lobes, which is anterior lobe and posterior lobe, which means in the diagram I can represent like this. This is considered to be the anterior lobe and this is considered to be the posterior lobe. So, anterior, posterior rendu lobes வந்து மேஜரா நம்ம படிப்போம். But அதுக்கு in between here, suppose for example here you see this is considered to be the intermediate lobe. So, anterior, posterior and the intermediate lobe, these are all the lobes which is present in the pituitary gland, and pituitary gland is considered to be the master gland. Yeah, then I'm a master gland because from its secretion it is controlling the other organs. For example, adrenal gland, thyroid, testis, ovary, like gonads and thyroid, thymus, the matta organs control பண்றதனால நம்ம இந்த pituitary gland என்னன்னு சொல்றோம் master gland. For example, you can see the pituitary secretion like TSH. What does this hormone mean? Thyroid stimulating hormone. But thyroid is a separate gland and the thyroid gland stimulate பண்ற authority pituitary க்கு இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதனால நம்ம pituitary என்னன்னு சொல்றோம் master gland அப்படினு சொல்றோம். Next, it is considered to be endocrine gland. ஏன் இத நம்ம endocrine அப்படினு சொல்றோம் அப்படினா, endocrine glands are the glands which pour its secretion directly into the blood. So, எந்த gland எல்லாம் அதோட secretions blood ல டைரக்ட்டா pour பண்ணுதோ அத நம்ம என்னன்னு சொல்றோம் endocrine glands. So, pituitary is considered to be an endocrine gland. Next, we will see the lobes. So, here is the difference between the anterior lobe and the posterior lobe. Another name for anterior lobe. If anterior lobe ku technical ana term enna appdin pathina adenohypophysis, whereas posterior lobe oda technical term enna pathina neurohypophysis, which means another name for the lobes. Okay, so here it is what? Anterior lobe. Here it is what? Posterior lobe. Okay, so where it is derived? Embryonical derivation. Embryonic la enga irundha derive pannirukku appdin paatha pharyngeal outgrowth. It is also known as rat case pouch. Pharyngeal outgrowth or rat case pouch is the location where the adenohypophysis or anterior pituitary alone, posterior kadiyadu, only anterior pituitary is derived from this particular portion, and it has 3 different parts, which is nothing but pars distalis and pars tuberalis and pars intermedia, which represents the intermediate lobe of the pituitary. I have already told you, right? Anterior lobe, posterior lobe, adu renduku naduvula enna irukku intermediate lobe. So, this 2 represents the anterior lobe and this one represents the intermediate lobe, which is nothing but pars distalis, pars tuberalis and pars intermedia. Okay, next, if you see the posterior lobe of pituitary, which means the neurohypophysis, it is derived from the same hypothalamus. Last video la nama hypothalamus patti discuss pannidom. So, hypothalamus oda extension da enna kanna this posterior lobe of pituitary. The technical term for the posterior lobe of pituitary is called neurohypophysis and the part is called as pars nervosa. What is that? Pars nervosa, which is nothing but posterior lobe of pituitary gland. Now, if you check the pituitary gland, you see from the hypothalamus, the blood vessels which is leaving the hypothalamus, this is nothing but the blood vessel which is leaving the hypothalamus should go to the brain, right? Every blood vessel leaving from every organ should go directly to the heart, but in certain cases those blood vessels will not go directly to the heart. Blood vessel வந்து ஒரு ஆர்கன்ல இருந்து வெளிய வரும்போது ஹார்ட்டுக்கு தான் போடும், பட் ஹார்ட்டுக்கு போகாம இன்னொரு ஆர்கனுக்கு போச்சு அப்படினா நம்ம அத என்னன்னு சொல்றோம்? Portal system. What we will call it as portal system. Here the blood vessel which is leaving out the hypothalamus is entering into the pituitary gland. This is what? Pituitary gland. So this is called very important, hypophyseal portal system. What is hypophyseal portal system? The blood vessel connection between the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland is called hypophyseal portal system. Here you can see, right, this blood vessel is coming from where? This blood vessel is coming from the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus la irundhu the blood vessel which is not going to the heart, which is coming towards the pituitary gland, is called hypophyseal portal system. This portal system is absent in case of posterior lobe of pituitary, and posterior lobe is connected through axons. Very important. It is connected through axons. What is axons? Is a portion of neuron is called axon. Okay, so through axons the posterior lobe is connected, and here you see the hormone which is secreted from the hypothalamus directly enters into the posterior lobe of pituitary. Enna hormones அப்படினா oxytocin. What is oxytocin? It is a love hormone. Okay, it is a, you know, the bonding between mother and child. So amma ku child ku brother sister, so the love bonding is due to a hormone called oxytocin, and another hormone is called antidiuretic hormone. So these two hormones, oxytocin and antidiuretic hormone, these two hormones are synthesized from the hypothalamus and stored and released from the posterior lobe of pituitary. So this is the brief introduction about pituitary gland. In the next video I will be discussing the hormones released by the anterior lobe of pituitary, and in some cases what happens if the hormone is secreted in less quantity, and what happens if the hormone is secreted in the abnormal, which means the excess quantity. I think this video is very informative for you. Like the video, share this video to your friends and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.